It's fine. So, like, Ascend is mostly a Polish. Like, they got two Polish players.
They got two Polish.
Two Polish. So they got two Polish players. So you want to do the introduction in like, I don't know what language it's called. Is it in Polish?
I think it is Polish.
Do you know anything is Polish? How to say it?
That's an Alex question.
we just gotta decide on what. All right, we're just gonna edit it and we're just gonna let Alex say that. And welcome back to the Inting Podcast.
Witamy, to Inting Podcast.
So Champions ended. Holy shit! It felt like a long ass week though of playoffs.
It feels like it was like it didn't feel like a week. It felt like a month.
Yeah, like honestly, with how long the games, I don't know. It felt like time was slowed down when Champions came on. So it's finally over. The new season VCT it actually starts January. So all the players get like a month or so break, and then it comes back again in January. I don't know if you saw the new format they added. So
No.
All right. So
They're changing it.
Yeah.
Thank God. So is it more or less confusing?
It's so less confusing. So all the new viewers are coming into Valorant, or players are coming to Valorant. It's so much better to understand. So how it works is, you know how there was like stage 2, like
It was like Masters Stage 2, Week 1, or what?
So how it works essentially is now it's you know how there was like there's stage 2 main stage, and then stage 2 open qualifiers. Mm-hmm. So the open qualifier is the same. Then goes to main stage, and then in the main stage it's like playoffs and shit in the main stage, and then the teams that are in the main stage, they qualify for Masters 1.
Okay.
So instead of having 3 Masters like last year, they're only having 2 Masters a year. Because the Masters 1 was only a regional thing. Yeah. So because now it's a regional thing, it went from a regional to now a Masters purely international, and then the playoffs and the main stage and all that. Now it's officially like only a regional thing.
Okay. So
that's gonna be interesting, and hopefully.
So nothing's really separated by regions anymore.
Nothing's really separated by only the qualifying for the Masters. That's the only thing separated by regions.
Okay.
So like for us, like NA, it would just be regular teams. But for like EMEA, it would have to be the Turkey region, the CIS region, and the Europe region all qualify for the main stage, and then the main stage would qualify for Masters. So EMEA, they're much more confusing than us because we're just only Canada we're only Canada and
US, Canada, and Mexico, but like nothing really. That's gonna sound fucked up.
Gonna sound like no, but like he's saying there's not. I don't see any. There's not. I don't think so. There is a full team from Mexico.
Are there any orgs based out of Mexico?
I have not seen. If there are, tweet at us. Let us know, because I genuinely
We'll have you on.
Come tell us about your region. We're more than happy to help, like for you to come on. So that's that's the new stage, and then how they're actually doing it now. Now they're having game changers. The female league, the only female league, they're having game changers worlds. It's like champions, but for only other regions, other game changer regions, they're gonna come and play for like their own champions.
And this is just for girls.
This is the female only team.
I think that's like really interesting that like it's separated into guys and girls.
But thing is, like for example, C9 White, they can still play in VCT.
Yeah.
They're still allowed to, but then if they don't make it far and they don't qualify for anything, they still have game changers to look forward to. They can go against other top female teams in other regions.
Okay.
Which is nice, because now I think I don't know any other games that do that minus Valorant, where they like where they highlight a lot of the female teams. I think like CS:GO, because like I feel like CS:GO, that's where they did wrong, is they don't really care about their content creators, and also they don't really like put spotlight at any of their females that represent their game.
Yeah. And I mean, I think CS:GO is also just like birthed in a time, like, because a lot of the people who are still CS enthusiasts are the people that have been in it for like ever.
Mm-hmm.
So like when like CS:GO is one of the first like PC esports that like people are going to LAN events and stuff for. So like I guess it's a similar culture now to back then, so that like there isn't as much room for girls. That kind of sounds fucked up too.
No,
but
yeah,
like
you're not saying that it's
I'm
like...
not saying it's not that girls shouldn't be there. It's just that like I feel like the community is just built in a way that kind of like neglects them.
Yeah, which
If that it's kind of fucked up.
No, it's fucked up in the sense like that's why like it kind of died out. Not died out, but CS:GO is still very prevalent, very like
no one's getting signed to be like a content creator for CS:GO.
yeah, like being a content creator in CS:GO, it's definitely very
Or
hard.
at least not in 2021.
Yeah, it's very hard. That's why everyone moved to Valorant or like the other or like Apex. Like you could be like a top level player, but you can be sent as a content creator for that as well.
Mhm.
Or it's like there's not a lot of room in CS:GO, and there's not a lot of content to be really a content creator unless you're doing vlogs or going to majors and going to big tournaments and like that.
And I mean in CS:GO, I also feel like in the pro scene, it's like just the same people. Like I feel like everybody in the pro scene is just like mad established.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That like it's not like every week in Valorant where there's a new pro player that's
Well, you gotta also
up and
say
coming.
CS:GO's been out. CS:GO's been out for a decade now.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of
Yeah,
it's very established.
That's why
Valorant. That's why Valorant. They're having so many roster moves. It's because it's so young. They're like, all right, let's try to win early or establish ourselves
also,
so early.
Yeah, it's also like people are still learning the game.
Oh yeah, for
like,
sure.
So I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think it's optimal, at least at this point in time, to just like be like, we got the dream squad right here. It's like that like Sentinels thought they had the dream squad and they got fucking smoked. So I mean, like, people are still learning the game.
People thought like Sentinels was gonna be like Astralis from CS:GO, where like they won
Yeah.
3 majors in a row. They're gonna win it all. They're gonna go undefeated, all that. But it's like the game is so young that we won't have a team like Astralis from CS:GO for like another 2 years. Like,
At least.
because
least.
that shit is hard, especially with how a lot of RNG. Because CS:GO there's not really much RNG, but like with Valorant there's a lot of RNG.
In what regard?
So there's the right click, like it's just the for example classic right click, the jumping, just running and gunning, the like the gunplay itself is there's too much RNG in that, and there's not a lot of
It's
consistency.
not precise enough.
It's not
Yeah.
precise gunplay, by the way.
Precise
Precise gunplay,
gunplay.
by the way. It's not as it's not as consistent with like CS:GO, where it's been out for a decade and everyone knows how the game runs. Everyone knows how the gunplay works. Everyone knows everything. People are still figuring out that stuff, which is, and I love how big of a stride it's took, because I think Valorant, for the first time in its history, it peaked 1 million viewers concurrently.
Really?
Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, everything, and all platforms. It concurrent
Like live.
Live.
Million viewers.
1 million
yeah.
viewers live tuned into it, which was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It was during the Crew and Gambit match. Did you watch that?
I caught a bit of it. I was at work during it, but
That shit was intense. It went to like
Yeah.
18-16. It went to
I saw that
4
like,
overtimes.
I saw that. That was that the one with that insane Viper play on Breeze?
No,
or
they
is
were
that-
playing Bind.
That's a different map. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a different game.
Bro, that shit. It was. By the way, that was only the semifinals. That wasn't even the finals.
Yeah.
That shit was the semifinals. It was map 3, on Bind. Gambit just brought a comeback and brought it to overtime, and it was just like there was clutch after clutch. Like a small mistake, it was intense. Like that shit, everyone was like on
Everyone
edge
was-
for it, and then
yeah.
because the Crew was the last remaining South American team, and then everybody in South America tuned into that because they were like, they're our last hope. Even NA fans were rooting for South America.
Dude, NA fans were like, "You're on our side of the fucking world. Come on."
It's like we're like you're kind of NA, so we're gonna root for you. It's like, dude, there's 30 EMEA teams and 1 South America. Every NA team went from cheering for Cloud9.
Yeah.
Everyone went to Crew. NA fans are for some reason they are never loyal. It's so funny.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
It's
That's
funny.
just. I feel like that's an NA thing.
Yeah.
Like nobody like even in our friend group, you ask people who they like, and everyone's like, "Well, I kind of like these people, and these people." It's not
Yeah.
like I'm a C9 fanboy, but I feel like I'm the only one in our friend group who's like super loyal to like one NA team.
For me, it's always been the TSM guys. I just love I just love everything about them. Even though like now they're going through a big rebuild right now with like a bunch of players, which I'm excited for, because essentially still rumored, but I mean, it feels like it's confirmed. They're bringing in Corey from FaZe and then Rossi from Immortals.
Yep.
So they're bringing them too, and which is exciting. As a I love the TSM Valorant team, and I hope they do well next VCT.
I hope they like qualify for something.
It'd be nice. It'd be nice. It'd be nice.
I hope they
because
do
being
anything.
a TSM fan and seeing all that, it's like, bro, fuck. Everybody's good on that team, and I'm like, it hurts me seeing them not qualify. But I think with them being definitely a more like a younger roster and very, very like skilled roster, I feel like it's gonna be good because I don't think so. Even I've seen that in League as well and other games. They don't go for like experienced players anymore. They go for like young gunners now, or they go for like people our age, and they go for like, you know what? We're gonna go like that, and we're gonna like see if you guys can like do that on your own. And I'm like, I like that, but at the same time, it's like, is that really? Unless they're going for the long run, it's good. But if they're just trying to win now, it's kind of hard, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like when like you're picking up a lot of younger people, you're kind of banking on them like being cracked as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like that's what it is. Like that's what when like Tens was originally picked up by Cloud9 for CS:GO, they picked him up because he was young and because his aim was cracked, and they were just banking on that. But he just wasn't playing well, so they dropped him.
Yeah.
So like I feel like that's a big risk you take going for the young people, but I can also see like you don't want a bunch of like older guys because like this is just like statistically like they're not going to be as like their reaction time isn't going to be as good, stuff like that. So like
Maybe you want to get them for
like aging. That's not even something they could control, but I feel like I mean like 100 Thieves was able to do pretty well for a while with their like fairly old roster, but like they fell off once like these young guys started coming in and kind of just like
I say maybe
wiping the floor with them.
I say maybe like, for example, Hiko, like he's not there for his reaction and all there for his gunplay. He's more there as like a leader, as a captain, as the as someone as being a voice of reason for like when their team is down. So that's why everyone like nobody really understands that. It's because I understand like Hiko, he might have not had the best performance in like maybe Masters 3 Berlin.
Yeah.
He might have not, but he's not there for that. He's there for like being the voice. It's like if they're down, and when they made that huge comeback against Gambit, like he was probably one of the reasons where it's like, hey, come on guys, we got this. He's the captain, he's the voice, he's the leader. Of course, Nitro and Steel had a big part of it, but it's still good.
Now, like you have Hiko, who's like that, but then like you just said, you also have Nitro and Steel, who are also like older guys, and it's like maybe one or two, but like having three older guys, and none of them like. I mean, they have Asuna, who I guess kind of balances out. He's just fucking cracked as hell, like his aim and shit. So, like, I guess it kind of balances, but I feel like that roster is just like, I mean, this is like, oh, they got a boomer roster, but like,
it's a win now team. What they want to do is like, they were like, all right, we want to win now. Like, we're not playing for the future. We're not playing for like development. Like, no, we're a win now team, which I've seen that a lot in esports where it's like, they're just getting it because they want to win now. They don't really try to develop their players.
I feel like that's how it was for Sentinels in this. Like, they had a ton of cracked ass people on their team, but like, they got that roster to win like Masters and whatever, but then like they get figured out. Like you're like if you go into it with the win now mindset, you can only go so far.
It's not a bad mindset. I think they were just dominating, and then everyone just knew how they played.
Yeah,
it's just
exactly.
they knew all their weaknesses. Well, yeah, they did win Masters 2, which is good. They made it pretty far, maybe in playoffs for Masters 3, and then Champions is completely flopped. Just I think nobody expected Crew to win or go that far in general, be a top 4 team. So it's good to see that. And because the game is changing a lot, like metas are changing every other day.
I feel like every tournament the meta's totally different.
Oh yeah,
like at one point I feel like it was okay to run like 4 duelists and a controller. Like that was okay. But now it's like you see a lot of people opting to go for the more defensive teams.
Yeah.
Like instead of duelist or no duelist in a lot of them.
You only play a Jet because of our Opper, and then you would just only go let Sage, Sky, KO, and you would just. And then I feel like Sentinels don't even like like the class, they don't even like get to play because you can just run an Astra and Viper. They can be played like a Sentinel, and then you can just run like Initiator and then two like a duel, and then you can just play around with the other three.
Yeah, and I think that's also a product of like the developers weren't like. I feel like Valorant has had this cycle of there's always a controller that's really weak, so they want to buff them a lot. But then in buffing them, the controllers have both properties, or not all of them, but a lot of the controllers have properties of duelists and sentinels or initiators and sentinels. And like, I feel like in buffing the controllers, you're kind of negating the need for the other one. So like you just said, like Viper is kind of like replacing the sentinel role.
Yeah.
Or Astra is kind of just like a I can do everything kind of champ.
Which is fucking
agent.
wild. How that agent has too many things. She can suck people, and then if they push into sight, she can just suck them. If she wants to entry, and she can place a start and concuss them, and they can be rushed. It's just like she has too many things, and then her ultimate can just divide, and then you can't shoot it. You can only use abilities. It's like, dude, you have too many toolkits. It's like essentially you can't remove her from the game. That's it. But you can just nerf her, and like, it's just hard because now I feel like ever since Astra became into the game is slowed down so much, and because it's the product of Omen not being there anymore.
Yeah,
it's because of Omen not being there. The game is slowed down a lot because you saw people like Sabrosa who dominated as Omen. He would literally be the entry fragger for Omen, and then it would be crazy, and then he would just make these crazy plays. It's just that was what made Valorant so much fun to see and play. But then you see it slowed down, and then Astra's being so tactical. It really ruined the pacing of the game. It just made it like less fun because now we're like, oh, there's a star in front of us. Let's wait and bait it out now.
Yeah.
It's like if we run through that or we have to bait it out, we have to try to find something. It's like, bro, fuck me, right?
And I also think it's a product of like just how the game design of Valorant is, and how it's not like Overwatch or something where you have a role and you could really only do one thing. It's like everybody has guns. Like everybody can shoot.
Yeah.
You know?
90% of the game, you're still getting shot.
So like it doesn't matter. Like I feel like it's a lot harder to balance things because it's like, yeah, this person might not have this capability. Like they can't flash or whatever. They still have a gun. Yeah, like so you can still shoot people. And that's something that you just can't change about the game. It's like, so I feel like it's not even a flaw in the game design. It's just like a very difficult obstacle that the developers have to kind of work around. Because like if you buff somebody, because like Omen, like you were saying, it's like, well, if you make Omen too good, he's just a duelist who also has smokes.
Yeah.
Or if you make Astra, like what are you gonna do to Astra? I mean, I guess the first logical thing is take away like one of her stars or something,
or like make the timer. You can make it like her cooldown is longer. Maybe like when she plants the star. I mean, they did that first when she plants the star. It's like 3 seconds, then you can activate it, which is like a good nerf. But I say maybe just like nerf that shit to 5 seconds. Just really like be careful on where you place your stars. Like it makes like because at times she just plants it randomly and she's like, all right, I can just activate it whenever I want. It's like, dude.
And I also think it's like because of how she's designed where you can put them down and still pick them up. It's like there's no punishment for putting it down, you know? Like, yeah, you lose what, like 100? It's 100 credits a star or 200?
I believe it's like 100 or 200, yeah.
And like there's no penalty for putting it down. So you could literally just cause pressure by putting it down and not doing anything with it.
Yeah, it's like
anywhere.
It's like, I mean, there's like punishment with Viper. It's like you place that on her wall, that's it. You can't move that. Or her orb, you can place it and you can pick it up, but you gotta go physically.
Yeah, like
pick it up.
if you have like a crazy like on bind like one of those orb lineups for heaven, if you throw it in heaven, it's staying there. You're not fucking running to get it.
Yeah, unless you're going there and pick it up, which is like that's the punishment, quote unquote, what you can say.
But like Astra could kind of just throw her util wherever she wants, and there's no penalty for it.
The thing, I mean, I don't know how, but Ascend, they were running Omen on split, and that just like completely threw everything out the window. It's like, what the fuck? Because I understand maybe Brim on bind, he's a good pick because he can bounce off Astra or Viper. That's a good pick, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you just bring out Omen instead of a Viper instead, and just like everyone was like, wait, what the fuck? Because they brought that out, and well, would you look at that? They won champions with that. And you see, but the thing is, when we saw Omen, like it was like shit. Like they're like the pace is so much faster now. It's like you see like everything flow through, and it's
a duelist with smokes.
yeah, but it's that's what I saw because like in Masters, I think Masters 3 we barely saw any Omens. Like and I think we saw more Omen in Champions than we did in Masters 3, which is like wait, what the fuck? Because Secret they ran an Omen on Split when they were going against Gambit, I believe, and everyone was like, wait, hold up, why is Omen being picked instead of a Viper and Astra, which is like a breath of fresh air? And I actually like genuinely miss seeing Omen in competitive play. Because it definitely sped up the pace and it made Valorant seem more fun to play, and even in a competitive level, competitive, casual, ranked, it seems like it's such a fun
like it's fun to play Omen. In my opinion, I think playing Omen is the most fun controller to play.
Yeah, because you can do a lot of plays with him too. It's just that's what's so beautiful about him, and I really hope they buff him enough where he's at least meta, where you can pick him and it's like it's not a bad pick.
See, but like. This is what we've seen multiple times at this point, and every controller minus Astra has gone through this. Like Viper, she was not picked ever. Like her because her wall, and then she got buffed, and like her fucking walls and the orb like take away half your health when you touch them. But
30,
then
I think 30. It used to be 50, but now it's 30.
It was insane when they first did
Holy shit, that was annoying to play. But they patched that shit so quick to 30.
People complained about that.
But then, so then they patched it to 30.
There was that, and then there was Brim, and like, remember when Brim had like a 1% pick rate in pro play or something?
Oh my god, I saw that shit.
And like, I don't even, what did they even do to change him?
I think what they did is, so they made his, it was a while back, but
they made his stim, you don't have to hold it out, it just auto
throws, it just
like
auto
Cypher
throws,
Cage.
And then they made it where it's like 35% pass-through rate, and then they made his smokes where you can put the smokes further away and it lasts longer.
Yeah.
Because the thing is with Brim smoke is you can't see inside of it unless you're literally face to face with somebody you can't see, which is good. But the thing is, Brim is not a bad pick but the thing is, he only is a good pick if you pair him up with another controller, which is like fine, I understand, because then he would just put his smokes down. And then you
have to commit there if he's the only one.
Or you can like pull a fake, but that's why the other controller's there is because he needs to like help you out with if he fakes it. Which I think that I don't think so. Brim is a bad agent at all. He's just a wild card at that point. But then if you just pick Omen, it's like, dude, he's not good in any map. And just because of his util, it's essentially because his util is too weak at the current meta right now.
And it's like a design of him. Like what? I think he's only really good on like Split and like Fracture.
Omen?
Or something. Yeah.
I think he's only good. I mean, it's all Split. I mean, you can run him on a Bind. You can run him on Haven. But that's another pick you can pick. You
can't really run him on Breeze at all.
You can't run. It's too big of a map. There's too many angles you got to look at. It's not. It's not like Viper where you can cut the map in half.
Yeah.
It's not Astra where you can just like.
Astra where you could put like a billion smokes.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah.
I think that's another issue because it was really boring seeing an Astra in competitive play. Like I think everybody in the Valorant community can agree. It's very boring seeing an Astra.
They're like Astra's making the game play like CS:GO.
It's very slow. It's like I understand. You don't get me wrong. In competitive, of course, you have to be more tactical. You have to understand. I understand.
You can't monkey.
Yeah, you can't just like straight up just run into a site and then just hopefully get something. No, I understand. You got to be more tactical. You got to be more. The pacing's got to be a bit slow. I understand that. But at times, it just seems that it's all the time. It's just so slow, and like it makes the game less fun. And I think even pros, like I've heard a lot of pros even complain about how boring Astra is to play. People don't even play her in rank because of how annoying she is. They just unless you want to win, unless you're that caring about your rank that much, they'll play an Astra. But like it's so boring to play. Play as Astra or play against her. It's boring, and I hope before the next VCT. They make either nerf Astra or they buff Omen just to balance out the whole controllers where each controller can be played. Yeah. It doesn't feel like, fuck, I have to play an Astra in order for me to win.
And like Astra, it's also like, it's not like, I feel like there's not much they could really do to nerf her because of just how she's designed. Like, I feel like if they want to change that, she just needs a rework, you know?
In what way? What do you think should we work her?
Like, in how her util is used.
So you're saying like if she plays down her stars, there's like
maybe
a massive timer before you can pick that up?
Or either you have to put them down and like you can't pick them up, or or make it in a way that like how she actually deploys them is different. Because like I think a big part of like why it's not like it, like I don't think it's that fun to play as Astra. And I mean, you kind of said that before, but like how you put so like say you're playing post plant and it's you go into your thing where you're deaf, you put the star down, then you come out of it and then you activate it. So it's a whole process. And in that point, like, yeah, I guess that's how she's balanced so people could rush you and stuff, but I wish like it was different in how you actually use the util, like put it down.
Like don't change the util itself, it's how you use it, which makes it.
Yeah, like I'm saying, I think the util is good, and I don't think she's busted. That's the thing. She's not busted. She's just too strong to not use. If that makes sense. Like she's not busted as in Sage beta, where it was just like you don't win if you don't have Sage or whatever.
Or like when Raze was like too broken.
Yeah,
to not
when you
pick her.
had 2 fucking paint shells.
Yeah, that shit was like but I understand what you're saying, or because that's what's weird in that, and because like right now Sova, everyone says he's S tier, but to me I don't like. And when I'm playing against the Sova, I'm like, damn, I'm bored now, or like fuck, I have to play against the Sova. It's like, to be honest, you can have fun as Sova in a way where you can just like
shoot shock bolts and
yeah,
shit.
you can just like, honestly, when you get like shock dart kills, it's like the most satisfying.
Hilarious.
It's fucking hilarious and the most satisfying feeling when you get a shock dart kill. So that's why I feel like Sova, he is S tier just because of his scans. That is, I understand that, and his drone is everything. I get that.
But like he's got more interactable stuff.
Yeah, like you have to like actually think in a way where with Sova, which Astra just place, all right, when they're coming in, suck. It's like with Omen, you have to like use your you can like make insane plays, and if the play works, it's like one of the most satisfying.
Yeah, like Omen's outplay potential is like insane. But with Astra, it's like you're playing post plant. It's like I have 3 stars on the bomb.
Yeah.
Let me just concuss, let me suck. And that's what Astra does. Or smoke. It's like you just smoke the regular entry points on site, and that's all you like. It's
hard to interact with her. She's not very interactable, which it's either you shouldn't be able to interact while she's in Astra form, or just make her placement like punishable where she can't pick that up, or it's longer. It takes time for them to actually pick it up instead of picking her up right away, just to balance her out in a way to make her not too meta. It just doesn't seem fun. I think a lot of people can agree with that. It's just not fun. But hopefully next VCT we can change that. Well, all right. Because Champion's over, what do you think was like the most shocking region and the most disappointing region you noticed from?
I mean, I don't even think shocking is the word. Like we all kind of knew like EMEA was like good.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, three. All 4 of them made the playoffs, I believe, which is fucking wild. How all 4 of them made playoffs, and then it turns out
not all 4 because C9 won their group.
Yeah, no, it was either C9 Liquid, X10, Gambit, and then Fnatic, and Ascend, and then Secret.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So all 4 EMEA, they all got the first seed, by the way, which is like, it shows that EMEA right now is way ahead against every other region.
Mm-hmm.
The most shocking region, to be honest with you, is the SEA region in Thailand. That region is, I did not expect them to make at least playoffs. 2 of their teams made playoffs, Team Secret and X10, which I've been saying this, Patafan, he's a fucking monster. I did not expect him to beat them, to be Envy. They were considered the best, to be realistically the best team in NA at that time, which is fucking wild. They made that huge upset against Envy.
Mm-hmm.
And then Secret, they won, and then they made it to playoffs. Unfortunately, both teams did get out of the first round, which honestly, it's still huge props. They made top 8 in a stacked-ass champions team. And then you had Crew make top 4. Almost beating Gambit, by the way.
Yeah.
They took it to a map 3 quadruple overtime, which is fucking wild. Props to both of them. I am disappointed. We love you, Brazil. We love you.
We love you.
But I was disappointed that not a single Brazilian team made the playoffs. I was really hoping at least one, maybe Vikings was gonna make it,
Yeah.
but not one did, which is kind of annoying.
I really wanted Brazil to make it just so that like Zoms could shut his ass up.
Oh my god, Twitter would have been on fire if one Brazilian team actually made it, and then
just
Sentinel,
one.
just one team made it, and then Sentinels couldn't even make playoffs. That would have been crazy. But both Sentinels and all of Brazil, went home, which is unfortunate. And then C9, as always, fortunately for Danny, but
The C9 drip is still valid.
it's valid
They're
because
the only NA team to make it
only
to playoffs.
yeah. So C9 fans are probably riding the high. It's like, damn, we always trust on C9 to make it to the playoffs,
We the only good team out here in NA.
which is wild. But I'm hoping for next year.
And C9 made it through the group of death too.
Yeah, which
Like that was the ringer.
yeah, I really hope. I didn't expect Korea. I was shocked that Korea didn't make it at all too.
Yeah.
They didn't play Lakia. They played, I think, Lakia once or twice the whole of group stage, which is like, dude, he's your best player, but you're not playing him at all. I didn't like that. I don't know. Maybe it was like an internal thing, or like there was like, I think the game is too.
beef.
I hope not, because it's crazy. It's like, he's your best player. Why are you guys running a 6-man comp when the game is this early in the stage? I think so. Any other team that I know of is running a 6-man comp in Champions.
Yeah.
I think Vision Strikers is the only one, which I personally didn't like. It's like, why you like, for example, if you need a solo player, he can play everything. It's like you can just sub him out for a Viper if you're playing on split. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't get why you're subbing him out. It just made no sense to me. I felt like maybe if they played him more, maybe they would have qualified for playoffs. Maybe they would have pretty far. But I don't like how they didn't play him much. But I'm hoping he gets like a lot of playing time next season, because I don't like how teams are running a 6-man comp. It's not viable right now. The game is way too young. There's not many agents. Even in League, like, you're not running a 6-man comp in League, am I right? I don't know if you can. I don't know if that's viable. I don't really watch much League. I'm trying to it. It's very confusing. Very fucking. I tried to watch it, and I'm like, I don't even know what items their name. Someone told me to buy this item, and I'm like, what's the picture? I don't know the item. I still don't know how to follow League, because that shit's like confusing to me. But I'm trying.
Gotta play more.
Oh,
We played last night.
I'm the best. I just want to, like, if any teams need a top laner, one trick Tryndamere, I got you. I'm the best Tryndamere top laner in NA.
Yeah.
best Tryndamere top laner.
Anja. Dead ass.
I'm not doing this fucking bit.
Bro, come on, do the bit.
I'm not doing the fucking bit.
Dude.
I'm not doing the fucking bit.
Ennis.
Anja.
Dead ass.
No cap.
On a stack.
What are we stacking?
Put that on a t-shirt.
We're gonna put that on a t-shirt one day. But I think overall this whole year, even though it's been a bit shaky here and there, I feel like the whole year has been really good. I think Riot really, for mostly an online event, they've handled it pretty smoothly. To be fair,
like through the year, not champion.
Not just champion.
Like
I think the whole year they did like a really solid job, like involving almost every region, making sure like it all went smoothly. Like I think they did a wonderful job. I think now, because I've been saying this for a while, like this whole first year of VCT, this is just a trial to just see how they do everything. Because now, hopefully, if COVID's not an issue, next year they have audiences. Maybe not in the stage where they qualify for Masters, but
for like champions. And
yeah,
whatnot.
maybe if they have it for Masters, they just have audiences. Because honestly, imagine if the Gambit and crew match with audiences. Holy shit, that
be a wrap.
Honestly, that would have been amazing to see. Because now seeing CS:GO having a lot of like their major, their blast premiere, they're having like full packed arenas, and I'm like, when is Valorant gonna have that? Because everyone wants to see that, and then hopefully soon next season we'll have that, but soon. There has been some roster changes. I don't know if you heard some of the roster changes. So
people are reworking now that they fucking lost.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is solid, but apparently the whole NV team, they're staying for the whole VCT next year. As of now, there's some rumors that like Victor was being subbed out or he was being kicked. That's as of now. That's a rumor.
That's a
rumor.
Not confirmed.
It's not confirmed. I think everyone's happy. I think the whole NV squad is happy where they are right now. I know they had a disappointing finish in Champions, but I feel like maybe the whole next year they'll have a better side. That's a whole lie. But Doma for Fnatic, he's scheduled to head out from Fnatic because I think just
Really?
yeah. I don't think he was the issue. I feel like
I'm
he played
surprised-
fine.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Fnatic is thinking they need a rework.
They've been together since Masters 2, I believe. So
Like,
I understand.
the synergies. Like they played well. It's not like they didn't play well.
Yeah, they did, but I think maybe just they could have been. That was a championship contending team because
Yeah,
they.
that was yeah.
So maybe they thought I'm like, damn, like we had a very disappointing finish. We lost against in the top in playoffs in the quarterfinals, which is like disappointing to them, which I understand. Which that's as of now, that's the only real roster move change. That's the major roster move that I changed, and apparently. NA is finally doing this where they're importing players from EU.
Oh, it's starting.
Oh my god,
It's
it's starting
starting.
again. Eccles from that he used to play for NIP and EMEA. He is
Yeah.
rumored to be trialing for 100 Thieves. And I don't like that.
It's starting.
We're only in year first full year of VCT and we're already
And
importing.
NA's already like, we're not good enough. We need some.
We're not good enough.
Help.
Let's import
We need
players.
some help.
Fucking hell. Name a more dynamic duo, NA and importing. Oh my fucking
I can't name one. Not
Oh,
one.
We can't develop players. We can't develop players in League. We can't develop players in what? What else?
CS:GO.
CS:GO. We can't develop
Like,
players
remember when Simple was playing in NA for like
for like a year,
no reason?
and then he went back. Then he went not back. He went to Navi. Oh my god. We can't develop NA talent. Why? Fucking hell! It pisses me off because not if you saw in League, essentially their whole TSM's whole League of Legends roster is now the LPL because they imported two LPL players.
Mm-hmm.
They're Huni and Spica, their top laner and mid laner. I think they're both fluent in Mandarin. So, to be honest, that whole team's... I don't know if Tactical, I'm not sure where he's from exactly, so I'm not going to say where, but essentially, they're going to be most, like... Essentially,
It's
jungler...
not an NA team.
Yeah, if it doesn't feel like an NA team. And then you see the Liquid, it's a Europe team. Not one NA-born player is on the Liquid
Yeah.
team. And then you see Cloud9, they're importing players from Korea, where it doesn't feel like it. So now it's League NA League right now feels like it's just if you want to grab a bag, go to NA. If you just want to grab the bag, it doesn't feel like they're really winning, and it pisses me off. I don't maybe definitely we're not saying this because we've never been in the pro scene. It from an outside looking in, it does look annoying. It's fucking annoying seeing NA just import players instead of trying to really develop players.
And I think this is also a product of like what we said from last episode, where like because of how like NA is and how big it is, but it's not dense. You
Mhm.
know, like where it's not like Europe where everyone's right near each other. It's like the NA teams, they only get to scrim each other like over LAN every once in a while or whatever. I mean, probably more than that. But like it's a lot harder to like find people because not everybody's so far apart, and like I feel like that rather than just going, "Hey, you're pretty good, come to our region," they should like I feel like they should be trying to scout more people out and stuff.
I love
I
how
don't know.
it felt like I think which I've noticed a lot is a lot of pro players stream more, and people are saying that they don't really scrim or practice, which you can't really say that because you don't know what they do behind the scenes and when they're not streaming or they're not really posting or any of that. They are probably practicing. It just does suck that. I mean, it kind of showed. NA fucking flopped for the most part in Champions.
Yeah.
They didn't, only one team made playoffs. They could only two. The two teams were saying that the number one and the number two team of our region couldn't even couldn't make it into playoffs, which I don't think it's a product of Jumps thinking about their content more than the pro career. It's just, I mean, right now Valorant is such a big. I mean, anybody who has an audience, like for example, who has like Shazam or Sabrosa or Wardell or Hiko, who have such a when they stream, they're averaging like 10K viewers.
Yeah.
I mean, of course you want to take advantage of that. I get that.
And I mean like
that's fine and all, but when people say like they're only caring about their streaming career, I don't think that's true. It is hard being a player because you have to balance out practice, VOD review. You have to come out with strats, right?
yeah.
And then if you want to make some extra income and then streaming, then you do have to. When you're a pro player, you got to understand. You got to think about the future, because when you're retired as a pro player, what do you have left? What is to your name?
Like pro players in esports aren't like fucking NFL players or NBA players. Like they're not making I guess some of them are making $1 million
with the
or
streaming,
whatever.
yeah, with streaming.
But
if involved.
it's not like you get signed to the NFL for 1 year and you're making $5 million in that first year.
Yeah.
It's like esports careers are generally sub 10 years. Like they're pretty short.
Very young, unless you're someone like Kiko who's been like in the CS:GO and then now Valorant.
Well, that's if you're able to consistently keep like performing. That's the thing.
That's very rare to find as well.
Like in esports, it's like a lot of these guys, they have like 1 or 2 good seasons, and then they start fall. I mean, some usually more than that, but like, it's not like it in other like real sports, like
traditional
sports, that it's like you have this roster of like 30 guys or whatever. It's like an org has a roster of 5 or 6 guys for like most 5-man like competitive games, and like you're only getting paid usually sub $1 million a season,
unless you're like a world-class superstar, one of the best.
Unless you're 100 Thieves and they have the fucking $1 million roster or whatever. But like these, you have to stream so you still have money when you're done playing professionally.
Because for example, I mean, if Hiko retires now, he can go to he can be essentially, if he wants to be like a coaching staff, if he wants to be like a player management for any team, anybody would pick him up for that. Because he has so many years built up and his brand is so huge right now where he can be picked up. So you got to understand as well, for example, Scream, he's known everywhere in the FPS game. He's huge, right? So if he just chooses to play more because he still can perform at a high level, the highest level. He's still a top 5 player in Valorant at right now 28. Because he has developed so much. Yeah. So when I saw players complain, it's like, oh, NA they flopped so hard because they're not scrimming as hard. You understand that being a pro in esports, there's a lot that comes with it compared to when it comes to like being a basketball player in NFL. You do have a lot of things to come up. You have to make sure all 5 guys are performing at an exceptional level. Like you can't, for example, you can't be like Allen Iverson when he was at the Sixers. He just carries the whole team to single-handedly. Like no, it's hard to do that. It's hard to 1v9 all the time in every esport. You have to care about your brand even when it's done, when you're over with. You do have to think about your future. So they are streaming because they want a brand for themselves. They want to explore. They want to like, when I'm retired, when I feel like I'm done with esports, when I don't want to be professional anymore, I want to branch out. I want to be able to retire.
I want to have options.
Yeah, like let me have options so I can, if I'm retired, I'm still there. Because like right now, Faker, it was like I think 2 years ago or so, he's still a player, but now he's part owner of T1. So if he retires, he's still part owner of T1. And his name is so big, like anybody, if he wants to be a content creator, he averages like 30K viewers just playing like a few hours of League. Yeah. If he wants to go full-time streaming, he can, because he has that brand with him. He has that success that comes with esports. And essentially that's what I'm saying. Of course, Faker's a different story, but he's actually won 3 times in League.
He's the GOAT.
He is the GOAT of League. So he has, if he wants to retire now, he's more than happy to, and he'll be the GOAT of League for another like 20 years if he wanted to, unless someone matches him like that. But he's the GOAT at like for another like minimum 5 years. So that's what I'm saying, and it's not like, of course, like esports is still very young. I need everyone to understand it's very young. So not everyone can make, and the 16-year-old can make a couple $10,000. But it depends on how you use that, either in stocks, investments. Yeah. It just really depends on your brand and how you explore it. Don't say NA just they're streaming more. Think about it. They are thinking about their future and like the people they support. Yeah. But I think that's everything we have for today. I mean, not really much news, no roster news. Yeah. We are going to start talking about League because Valorant's now over. Yeah. So we are going to we're slowly going to start transitioning.
I'm going to force NS to play League with me so you can know what's going on.
Unfortunately, I'm going to start playing League so I can just, know some things when we're talking about
what items are when people buy them.
I'll know about that. I mean, we are still going to talk about Valorant. When there's major news and when there's news to talk about when it comes to Valorant, we are going to talk about that, but we are going to, for now, slowly transition into League just for a little bit until Valorant picks up again. So as of now, that's what we're going to do. So probably next episode, we actually have a huge guest. We're not going to say who, but we have a huge guest for next episode, which we're excited for.
Oh, yeah.
But all right, guys. Any last things you want to say before we end it here?
Nope.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Bye bye.